From childhood, invisible rules surround us. They whisper how we should live, what we should chase, and who we should become. Many follow these rules without question, believing they lead to happiness. Yet the quiet wisdom of the inner path reminds us that these rules often blind us. They bind us to illusions, keeping us restless and unsatisfied. To see them clearly is the first step to freedom. Once we recognize them, we can choose differently. We can walk with peace, truth, and clarity instead of following shadows. The world often convinces us that approval is more valuable than truth. From a young age, we learn to adjust our words and actions so others will smile, nod, or clap. Approval feels like light, and we chase it to feel safe. Yet what happens when truth does not win approval? Many silence themselves, fearing rejection. The problem is that living for approval keeps us imprisoned. We wear masks, pretend, and shape ourselves into what others expect. This way of living may win attention, but it loses authenticity. The deeper teachings remind us that craving approval is a form of attachment. When our happiness depends on how others see us, we lose the ability to stand firm in who we are. Truth, though difficult, frees us. To speak and live in truth is to honor our inner self, even if it means fewer smiles from others. Approval fades, but truth endures. When we practice truth, we no longer bend with every passing opinion. We stand still, calm and unshaken, like a mountain that does not move with the winds. People may judge or misunderstand, but peace arises from knowing we did not betray ourselves. Real strength lies not in being liked, but in being genuine. The wisdom of inner practice teaches us that the search for approval is endless, but the acceptance of truth is final. Once you honor truth, you no longer need the applause of the crowd. You carry a quiet dignity that no one can give or take away. The challenge is learning to trust yourself more than the voices outside. It is learning to let go of the constant hunger for acceptance. When this hunger fades, freedom begins. Life becomes lighter, more honest, and more meaningful. You discover that truth does not need decoration. It simply is. Living in truth may sometimes feel lonely, but it is never empty. Approval will come and go, but the peace of standing in truth will stay with you forever. We are told that success is measured by money, titles, and possessions. From the classroom to the workplace, society paints wealth as the ultimate goal. Yet this definition leaves many restless. Even those who reach the heights of financial success often find themselves empty. Money can buy comfort, but it cannot buy peace of heart. Possessions may impress others, but they cannot quiet the mind. Success that is only measured by wealth is fragile. It can vanish with a lost job, a failed business, or an unstable market. But when success is measured by meaning, it grows from within. Meaning is found in service, in kindness, in growth, and in peace. The teachings remind us that attachment to wealth leads to suffering. To cling to money as the source of happiness is like drinking salt water. It never quenches thirst. True success is measured by how deeply we live, not how much we own. It is measured by how much love we give, how much wisdom we gain, and how much peace we share. Society may laugh at this definition, calling it naive. But those who walk this path know its strength. When you live with meaning, even small acts feel full. A gentle word, a moment of silence, a hand offered in help. These become treasures greater than gold. Success by meaning cannot be stolen, cannot be lost, and cannot be measured by numbers. It lives in the heart and shines through character. To reject society's narrow view of success is to open the door to true freedom. You no longer chase endlessly. You begin to rest in the richness of the present moment. You learn that wealth is temporary, but meaning is eternal. By choosing meaning over money, you step into a life that no storm can shake. Real success is not what fills the pocket, but what fills the soul. The deeper path shows us that when we live with meaning, we live fully, and that is the truest success of all. From childhood, we are taught to fear failure. Mistakes are shamed, losses are mocked, and setbacks are seen as weakness. This fear becomes so strong that many avoid risks, avoid growth, and avoid their true path. Yet the teachings remind us that failure is not the opposite of growth. It is a part of it. A tree does not rise straight into the sky without storms. It bends, it breaks, and it heals. In the same way, our failures are lessons that shape strength. Fear of failure keeps us stuck in safety, but growth requires courage. To fall is natural. To rise again is powerful. The one who fears failure clings to comfort. The one who embraces it learns resilience. Every misstep is a teacher. Every loss is a doorway to wisdom. But when society shames failure, people stop trying. They bury their dreams and live in half-light. The truth is that failure is not shameful. It is sacred. It is the fire that burns away arrogance and teaches humility. It is the soil where seeds of strength take root. The inner path teaches us to meet failure with compassion, not judgment. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" we ask, "What can I learn from this?" When failure becomes teacher, fear loses its power. Growth comes not from avoiding mistakes, but from embracing them. Life is not about never falling. It is about learning how to rise with grace. Society may point fingers, but wisdom points inward, reminding us that every step, even backward, is part of the journey forward. The fear of failure is an illusion that chains us. But when we release it, we find freedom to live fully. We realize that the only true failure is refusing to try. With courage, even our greatest mistakes become the foundation of our greatest wisdom. To see failure as growth is to step into a life unafraid, open and free. The world places great value on productivity. Our worth is often measured by how much we achieve, how fast we work, and how many tasks we complete. Rest is seen as laziness, and silence is treated as wasted time. This rule makes people restless, always running, never still. But the inner teachings remind us that peace is as important as progress. A life filled only with doing leaves no space for being. Productivity can bring comfort, but without peace, it cannot bring joy. The mind that never rests becomes weary, anxious, and lost. True wisdom teaches balance. Work has its place, but so does stillness. Without stillness, we lose clarity. Without rest, we lose strength. Society may applaud endless productivity, but the one who embraces peace discovers deeper treasures. Peace allows us to see clearly. It softens the heart, restores the spirit, and connects us to the present. Productivity creates, but peace sustains. To chase productivity without peace is to build a house on sand. It may stand for a while, but it cannot endure. The world does not always understand this truth, but it is a truth we must protect. To sit quietly, to breathe deeply, to enjoy a simple moment is not wasteful. It is sacred. Peace is the ground from which meaningful action grows. When we find peace, our work gains depth. Our tasks become lighter. Our hearts remain steady even in storms. Productivity may bring praise, but peace brings fulfillment. To honor peace is to reclaim life from the restless demands of society. It is to realize that our worth is not in how much we produce, but in how deeply we live. The true measure of life is not speed, but stillness. It is not endless doing, but mindful being. When we embrace peace, we find that life itself becomes the greatest achievement. Comparison is one of the most common traps society lays before us. From a young age, we are told to measure ourselves against others. Grades, wealth, appearance, and achievements become tools of comparison. We learn to look sideways more than inward. This rule leaves us restless. No matter how much we achieve, someone always seems ahead. Comparison steals joy. It blinds us to our own blessings. It turns gratitude into envy and contentment into longing. Yet the deeper wisdom teaches us that each life is unique. Just as no two leaves are the same, no two journeys are meant to be alike. Contentment grows when we stop comparing and start appreciating. To be content is not to give up. It is to recognize the beauty of the present. Comparison tells us we are not enough. Contentment tells us we already have enough. Society rewards those who compete endlessly, but the cost is peace. The one who chooses contentment discovers freedom. Gratitude becomes the anchor. Every simple gift, health, breath, relationships, nature becomes a treasure. The teachings remind us that true wealth is not in what we have compared to others, but in how much we value what we already hold. Comparison is endless, but contentment is complete. When we let go of comparison, we step into our own path. We begin to honor our own pace, our own growth, our own story. The joy of another no longer threatens us. It inspires us. We celebrate without envy and rest without shame. To reject comparison is to embrace peace. It is to live with clarity and gratitude. It is to understand that happiness is not found by racing others, but by walking your own path with a full heart. In that fullness, life becomes lighter, freer, and deeply joyful. The world often rewards conformity. Those who fit in are celebrated, while those who stand apart are questioned or even punished. This silent rule teaches us to suppress our uniqueness, to shape ourselves into acceptable forms, and to silence the parts of us that do not match others. Yet the inner path reminds us that uniqueness is sacred. Just as each flower blooms in its own way, each life is meant to express itself freely. Conformity may bring temporary safety, but it suffocates the spirit. When we suppress who we are to be accepted, we betray our truth. Society fears difference because difference cannot be controlled, but wisdom celebrates it. The one who embraces their uniqueness walks a harder road at first, but it is a road that leads to real freedom. To be yourself in a world that pressures you to conform is an act of courage. Uniqueness is not about being louder than others. It is about being true. It is about honoring your voice, your gifts, your path, even when it does not match the crowd. Conformity teaches fear, but uniqueness teaches strength. When you live authentically, you may lose the approval of many, but you gain the acceptance of yourself. And that acceptance is priceless. The teachings guide us to see that life is not about blending in, but about unfolding who we truly are. Uniqueness is a gift to the world. It adds beauty, diversity, and truth. Conformity may build walls, but uniqueness builds bridges. The courage to be yourself inspires others to do the same. To reject conformity is not to rebel, but to honor life's natural expression. Each of us is a unique note in the great song of existence. When we silence our note, the song is incomplete. When we sing it freely, the whole world becomes richer. The true path is not to conform, but to bloom. One of society's strongest rules is the belief that external image matters more than inner reality. We are trained to polish appearances, to look successful, to seem happy, even when inside we feel broken. Social approval often depends on how we appear, not who we are. This makes people live like actors on a stage, smiling while their hearts ache, pretending while their souls long for truth. But this rule is a heavy burden. It teaches us to ignore the inner world and to chase endless masks. The inner teachings remind us that appearances are illusions. They may deceive others for a while, but they can never bring lasting peace. Real freedom begins when we care more for the inner world than the outer image. The state of the heart matters more than the shine of the face. The calm of the mind matters more than the weight of titles. Inner reality cannot be seen by all, but it can be felt deeply by the one who lives it. To choose inner reality over outer image is to live honestly. It may not impress everyone, but it brings peace. It may not gain loud approval, but it builds quiet strength. The world may honor masks, but masks always crack. The soul that chooses truth does not need masks. It shines from within, naturally, without pretending. When we live this way, we no longer waste energy polishing illusions. We invest energy in cultivating peace, compassion, and wisdom. The teachings remind us that outer image fades with time, but inner reality grows stronger with age. Wrinkles come, titles disappear, wealth shifts, but a calm mind and a kind heart remain. To reject society's obsession with image is to reclaim your freedom. It is to walk in truth, not performance. It is to live with dignity that no appearance can provide. True beauty is not seen in the mirror. It is felt in the spirit. When the inner is strong, the outer follows naturally. The deepest joy is not in looking perfect, but in being real. The world often sells comfort as happiness. Advertisements tell us that ease, luxury, and convenience are the path to joy. Many believe that the more comfortable life becomes, the happier they will be. But comfort is not the same as happiness. Comfort numbs. It soothes temporarily, but it does not heal. It distracts us from pain, but it does not free us from it. The teachings remind us that true happiness comes not from avoiding discomfort, but from growing through it. Discomfort is the soil of growth. It teaches patience, resilience, and wisdom. Comfort may bring pleasure, but pleasure fades. Happiness, born of wisdom, endures. When society convinces us to chase comfort endlessly, we become weak. We avoid challenge, avoid truth, and avoid growth. But when we embrace discomfort as part of life, we discover strength. The one who faces hardship with courage grows unshakable. The one who embraces discomfort finds peace even in storms. True happiness is not about never feeling pain. It is about finding meaning within it. Comfort alone cannot give this. It creates dependency. The moment comfort is removed, suffering returns. But wisdom teaches us to find joy beyond conditions. This joy arises from within, untouched by external ease. It is born from acceptance, from awareness, from freedom. To reject society's illusion of comfort is to choose a life of depth. It is to realize that happiness is not sold in stores or wrapped in luxury. Happiness is found in presence, in gratitude, in compassion, and in truth. Comfort may decorate life, but it cannot define it. To seek happiness in comfort is to chase shadows. To seek it in wisdom is to hold light. When we learn this, we stop running from discomfort and begin to grow within it. Happiness then becomes unshakable, because it no longer depends on conditions, but on the strength of the spirit itself. There is a hidden strength in knowing when to leave. Society often teaches us that walking away is weakness, but wisdom shows the opposite. To walk away is not to give up, but to rise above. It is a choice that protects peace, dignity, and clarity. Many suffer because they stay in battles that cannot be won. But when we learn to let go, we discover freedom. This is the untold power of walking away. It is not escape. It is wisdom, courage, and the path to true strength. There are moments in life when staying destroys the quiet respect we hold for ourselves. When arguments turn into insults, when relationships demand we shrink to fit, or when work robs us of all joy, the dignity of the soul begins to fade. Walking away is the way to protect that dignity. It is a message we send to ourselves. I matter, my peace matters, my heart matters. The teachings remind us that clinging to what harms us only deepens suffering. Respect for the self is not arrogance. It is a recognition of worth. To walk away is not about proving anything to others. It is about proving to yourself that you will not trade respect for comfort, approval, or fear. Many stay in situations long after the respect is gone because they fear being judged for leaving. But real judgment lies in abandoning yourself. Respect is like a flame. If you cover it, it suffocates. If you protect it, it glows brighter. Walking away keeps that flame alive. It is not always easy. The mind will whisper doubts and others may question your choice. But deep within, you will know you chose self-respect over self-betrayal. Life becomes lighter when you no longer force yourself into places that demand you be less than who you are. Protecting self-respect does not mean rejecting people. It means rejecting what asks you to lose yourself. When you carry this respect, every choice that follows becomes clearer. You stop chasing what belittles you. You stop fighting battles that strip your dignity. You learn to live with a quiet confidence that no one else needs to validate. The moment you walk away to protect your self-respect is the moment you step closer to freedom, truth, and lasting peace. Arguments often pull us into endless circles. Each side wants to be right, and the louder the voices, the further truth drifts away. In these moments, detachment becomes stronger than debate. Walking away from conflict is not weakness. It is strength disguised in silence. Detachment is the ability to see that not every battle is worth the energy of the spirit. When we cling to proving ourselves, our peace is the price. But when we let go, peace returns. The teachings remind us that craving victory in arguments is a form of attachment. We cling to being right, but in doing so, we lose balance. Detachment teaches us that truth does not need endless defense. It stands by itself. When we walk away from an argument, we show that our peace is more valuable than proving a point. Detachment is not indifference, it is clarity. It is the strength to know that engaging further will not change hearts, but will surely disturb the mind. To walk away with detachment is to rise above the noise. It is to trust that silence is often the strongest answer. People may see it as avoidance, but it is actually wisdom. A detached heart sees no need to win at the cost of peace. This way of living teaches us to save our energy for what truly matters. Arguments are like fires. The more we feed them, the stronger they burn. Detachment is walking away so the fire dies naturally. It leaves behind no ashes of regret, only calm. True power is found not in the last word, but in the refusal to be trapped by endless words. To walk away with detachment is to choose peace over noise, clarity over pride, and freedom over conflict.